Hey guys, welcome back to another setup video here on GeekSmart. And I have another wireless mesh router system from, well, this time it's the AmpliFi HD system. This I've already had going for a couple weeks now, and is a fantastic router. So I can't wait to show you guys over on TechGooch the actual review on it, but this is the full setup. So to get started, how it comes out of the box here is, oh, there she is. So I actually already have the power cable pulled out because, like I said, I've already had it hooked up. In this little box here that comes as an accessory kit, you do get an Ethernet cable and, of course, some setup instructions. So that's kind of down there along with the power. This is the primary router, which is kind of a cube, right? Your 4 Ethernet ports, your LAN ports, as well as your wide area network port, USB port for shared stuff, and then USB-C for power, which I do actually prefer the USB-C for power. I think that's what they all should be going to. You do get 2 separate antennas, excuse me, for the wireless mesh system. Now these, like other wireless mesh systems, are all wireless. However, these cannot be wired together, which is not a big deal for a lot of people, but it's something to bring up at least. So these are wireless. The neat thing about these is that they're kind of a 2-piece system. They have this base that has kind of the electronics and the power. The antenna just kind of snaps onto the base, and then you can point the antenna so you get the best signal possible to where it's actually going. So depending on where you place it, obviously if it's in a hallway, you're probably not going to want to have it stick into the hallway. You're probably going to have it kind of straight up and down like that against the wall. But it does give you options. If you have a power strip that you're plugging it into, you can actually change the orientation of the antenna. So that is kind of cool. It is neat that it's very simplistic and that it's just this magnetic technology. You can see where there's a central piece and then the ball around it, and then the 2 pieces, how it connects here. So pretty cool in that regard. But the other big benefit to this is how this whole system gets set up. You can see the magnets there. This is the easiest to set up wireless router I have ever had. Now there's routers out there that kind of come pre-configured. You can plug in and they'll give you the router name and password and you can just go, right? That's a standard router. But whenever you're talking about a mesh system where you have more than one point of contact, more than one repeating of the signal, it's a step-by-step procedure. And it's not that they're difficult, it's just that it takes time. This system doesn't. This is already pre-set up. These 2 AmpliFi HD antennas are already pre-configured to this AmpliFi HD router. So there is no advanced configuration here. Once you set this up, it'll actually come up on the little screen. Now, this is a screen. It's actually a touch screen too. And it'll come up with, hey, download the app, or as another option, here's the wireless ID stuff, so you can actually connect to a computer and do it that way. Now I'm going to go through the app to do this setup. But these are already pre-configured to this. So once you have this set up and you plug these in, these will automatically connect to it. You do not have to set them up. And they do have little LED lights on here to tell you the strength of the signal. And if you go through the app, it'll tell you the strength of the signal as well. The app is pretty awesome, and I can't wait to show you that as well. So we're going to go ahead and go up to where my modem is currently kept, and we're going to plug this guy into the modem, get it powered up, and then start from there. Okay, so this is where I'm going to have it set up here. I have the power cord already, and I'm going to worry about cable management later, just for speed of video purposes. One thing you're going to want to do is reset your router, so that's just going to be unplug it. Just unplug it, let it sit unplugged for several minutes while we're getting everything else set up. I already have all my cables here. This is the cable from my modem itself, so I'm going to plug that into the blue or the wide area network port. I have a few other connections to hardwired devices that I'm just going to go ahead and plug right now into my LAN connection ports. I actually have 3 of them. One of them seems to have fallen. There it is. So I'll get those 3 connected. Those are actually going to switches that are going to other hardwired devices, so I don't have to keep them here next to the router. These cables are fun. Set that on my desktop there. I'm going to go ahead and start powering on the modem now. It's been a good at least 30 seconds or so. While that's booting up, I'm going to go ahead and start powering up the router then as well. So the USB-C connection, get that plugged in here. And you can see right away the light comes on and then the screen comes off. and tells you that it's kind of working to get itself set up. So we're going to give that probably a good 30-60 seconds to let it boot up and let the modem get connected. We want the modem to be fully connected before we really go on to the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and just let those sit and get all ready for us. Okay, so while I was waiting for this to get done, my modem just finished up. This is already telling me to download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store, or tap for other options. If I tap it here, it'll tell me my Wi-Fi connection network, and I can go through that route. I'm going to actually go through the app setup myself, like I said, and I have my iPad here with the AmpliFi app already downloaded. So while we have that all set up, I'm going to go ahead and get closer on the iPad itself. But I decided to keep it so you can kind of still see the router in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and open up AmpliFi app. AmpliFi True Mesh. I'm going to hit continue. Welcome. We're going to set up an AmpliFi mesh system. That's exactly what we're going to do. So that's the whole system itself. Power off the, we've already done that. Slide. Connect the cable modem, which you've already done. Connect the power cable and everything, and power it on. We're going to hit continue. We've already done all those. So AmpliFi setup request. We found the AmpliFi router. Go ahead and click on the actual one that it's showing. That's in your house. Well, it connects and gets all set up there. You can hear the little ring back there. We're going to name the wireless network. Now in my case, I'm just using my last name. And my password, I'm going to go ahead and put my password in quick. So put the password in, I'm going to hit continue. And now it's setting up the router. Boom, check mark. Over there it's telling me it's good. Checking internet connectivity, so it's obviously checking to make sure it actually has connection to the internet, which we should have because we did reset the modem. So yes, it's good. Hit continue. Do I want to have remote access? I do. So I'm going to actually go ahead and add it to my Google account real quick. I'm going to do that. So if I hit add to your Google account, yes, continue. I want to sign into the Google account, and it's going to make me sign in. So I just selected my Google account quick, and there we go. So while it's adding my Google account, that way you can have access to it anywhere you are, and that's a quick and easy way to tie it to an account you already have. So once you attach it, then it does its setup. You can already see that over here it's telling me information, 11:16. That's the time on Wednesday, January 3rd. So that's what time it is right now while I'm doing this video. But it's adding the AmpliFi still to the Google account there. Once those tie, it should come back. So we'll give it a few moments. For just some reason, it errored out. So it took me right back to the Google account setup. I collected my account again, and it went right through. So hit continue. Must have lost connection through my I guess it's still connected via LTE. So now it's connected to the actual system. So you can see that there are two antennas. They are grayed out because they're already pre-set up with that. All we have to do is go ahead and go set it. Go plug them in, and it'll automatically connect. So let's go plug one of them in and see how it does that. Some pretense for this. This is a location that is quite a ways away from my router. If I use any other wireless system, I will be honest with you, they will not pair together. So this is honesty for you. AmpliFi system is just going to plug in. I just have to replace my shitty outlet cover here. But you can see the power's on, so the little light's there, and it's going to start kind of showcasing that it's powering up or connecting here in a second. So let that do its thing. Give it a moment. So as it boots itself up. And just like any system, you know, it'll take several minutes for it to actually connect. So you can see the lights there indicating that it's booting up. So we're going to go ahead and let it sit there, let it go for a little bit, and we'll come back to it in a second. So let it go here for a few minutes. It did connect. I actually moved the antenna facing the room that it's actually located because this is not really in a spot that anybody walks by. But you can see that it's not a full signal. I'll zoom in here. There is one LED missing. But it does look like it have a strong signal. Let's go back to the room and see how it actually connected. So you can see here, I actually have not touched the app. It's still open and ready to go. We are connected to Wi-Fi as well, but you can see there, that's the antenna. It is connecting directly to the actual main unit. If I actually click on it, excuse me, we're at 48%, which is good signal. I've actually had that between 40 and 60, depending on, you know, what's going on in the house. But I've never actually had it fail from that point. And that's a point that I typically cannot get any other Wi-Fi mesh system to connect at. So this is, I'm putting this system almost to its maximum. So what I'm going to do now is, just to demonstrate, I'm going to actually put another one of these guys, the secondary one, in between these two to show you how it actually doesn't have to go. So right now you can see here, if I added this somewhere else in the house, it could connect directly to the main router. I'm going to place the second one actually in between these two, and it's going to automatically do this for me. So let's go ahead and plug that one in too. If you've ever watched my other videos of other setups, this is a location that's in a hallway. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. There we go. Get that against the wall a little bit and let it boot up. And once it boots up, we'll head back. We'll check the strength and then we'll head back. So when it finally gets finished connecting here, it's still working on connecting. It did its boot up time, and now it's actually working on its way to connect here. This will come up in lights here, but it does take several minutes, so it's something that you want to give time to. Even if you see this and you see that one light, now it's actually trying to connect. Give it the time that it needs to do everything. It takes several minutes for each of these to actually power up, so don't be rushed. And if it doesn't do it right away and it looks like, oh no, it's trying to reconnect a second time, no, just give it the time it needs, because it does take a few moments for these to actually boot up and connect automatically for you. So I did want to point that out real quick. Don't think it's going to happen instantly, and just give it the time that it needs. Just don't touch it. Just let it do its thing. So you can hear the beep beep there, letting us know that it's getting going here. Should be connected here shortly. All right, so we are connected now. You can see that all of the LEDs are actually indicated on this one. Since we are close to the router, it should be that way, because the other one is a lot further away. But let's go in and see what actually changed. So on this setup variation, the second one, which is on the left here, we're at a 96%, because we're not terribly far away. We are a good 30 feet or so from the main router, but it is in my hallway, so it has good connection to a good section of the house. The secondary one is actually still connecting directly to the router, so it actually has a good enough connection. It doesn't think that it needs to actually connect, but what happens is you can actually have this where it pigtails off of it. I'm going to actually demonstrate that real quick. I'm going to move that one even further away and see if it actually changes that setup where it actually pigtails, so that we can actually see what it does. So give me a few moments. All right, so I placed the secondary guy in a location that's way far away from the main router that would definitely not connect. And so now you can see that we are now automatically pigtailing off the first one. And this is what's the difference between a mesh system and what's kind of called a true mesh system. These can all intermix and find the fastest connection back to the main router. So even if the way that I had it before, where they were both connecting directly, if something happened where the connection just was weak, it could actually see, oh, the connection to the secondary, the other guy, the other secondary one, I can actually connect to that and then lead back to the router, and it would be faster. And it automatically does this. I did not choose it to do this. It did this for me automatically. And so if I see the first one again, we're at what, 90, well, right now 80% signal strength for that guy, and that further one out there is actually at 100% because it's connecting really, really well to that one. And that one is in a point, it's in my kitchen. It's the furthest room from this bedroom. It's as far as it could possibly get without going out to the garage or something. But those connection between those is fantastic. So, and of course that'll change. It'll go up and down depending on what's going on around the house. But you get pinpoint accuracy exactly what's going on at any specific given time. The other thing I want to point out here is what I'm going to show you here on the unit itself. You can see right here where how many clients are connected. So I have 29 things connecting to the router right now. How much currently is being used for download or versus upload. And I will change that here in a second because I'm going to connect with my phone here. I'm going to go ahead and just go to YouTube and just pull up a video. I don't care what video it is. I'm going to keep it on mute so I don't have to try to mute. There we go. So you can see right now 24.9. You can see how that's changing upload as well. It's all going to base on what's going on with what's all connecting. So there is some internet being used currently. So obviously it loaded that video real quick, and now it's just playing what's on my device. So it is what it is. And if I go to the next video, you'll see it ramp back up again. So you'll actually get a real-time readout of what actually is being used on your network, all from the app. And you can see performance things. You can see that history. You can do ISP tests. Let's go ahead and start a test. Let's see what actually happens here. Testing ping. Let's do its thing. So obviously you can see there's waves. Download tests, upload tests, test completed. And now you can actually see right now, it's saying I have a 78 megabit per second download, 29 megabit per second upload. And I know I don't honestly know who that's pinging, but let's, for giggles here in a moment, you know what, let's just do this. Let's pull up fast.com, which is directly to Netflix, and you can see over Wi-Fi I'm getting 170. So obviously depending on the server you're actually pinging off of is going to depend on your speed. Back to the device here. Guest, you can actually turn on a guest network if you'd like to at any time. Right now I have it is inactive. I can add how many max guests I really want, how long I want them to do that, how to share it. Family, I can actually pause internet on specific profiles within my actual network itself. It can tell me all the networks that are currently attached, and I can pause those at any given time. You know what? No, pause. So if my daughter's not listening, she's on her iPad, I can pause her iPad. Diagnose, you can actually do diagnostics here within the app itself. And within the system, within any of these, if I actually click on them, you can go in through the general information here and actually change forwarding and everything within the DHCP servers and everything. So all of the information that you typically do with a router, you can do through the app. You can also log in directly to the router itself through a web access as well. So that is the quick setup on that guy. App aside, this is the main screen that's actually here on the router itself. Now this is actually in my bedroom now. One of the nice things about this is it gives you information. So whether you want to have it show what time and day of the week is, I don't care about that. I get that on my phone. Click it. It'll actually tell you more information. So from January 1st until now, currently total megabytes downloaded, total megabytes uploaded, it'll give you that information. Your IP address, your router IP address, your speed tests. So right now, like I said, if I go, it's the exact same process as before. If I actually was to open up a YouTube video, for instance, and start watching a YouTube video, you'll see the meter start going up while it's being used. So depending on what's being used, if you're watching Netflix or whatever, but it lets you know if something's actually using your internet, even though you may not know it actually is. It also tells you the port status. Right now you can see that I do have that one open LAN port. I do not have anything plugged into the USB port, but all of those other ports are actually being used, and so it lets you know that. And then we head back to the main screen with the time. So I always like to keep it on current upload and download information so I can actually see what's going on. So that is the setup of Ubiquity's AmpliFi HD whole home true mesh Wi-Fi system. These antennas are fantastic, and I'm not going to get into a crazy amount of review on here, but the one thing I want to reiterate to you is the simplicity of this setup was easier than any other wireless router I have ever set up. Truly is. Because as you saw, you name the router, you put a password in, you can, like I did, connect it to a Google account or a Facebook account so you can have access to it anywhere you are. So if you're at Walmart and you want to see what your router is doing, you can if you connect to those third-party services, I guess. So it has direct access to your router. But that is it, really. Other than plugging these things into the wall. And that is simple. And that's the really big difference between this system and about every other system on the market. You can buy more of these and add this to the system if you would like to. And the big thing about this is coverage. This covers more Wi-Fi range in this 3P system than any other 3P system on the market, in my opinion. I have tried the Orbis, I have tried the Velops, I have tried the Eros, I have tried the Decos, I have tried various systems. Not every single system out there, I will admit that. But in terms of Wi-Fi connected range, I don't think there's even one that's in a close second spot here of any of the systems that I've tried. I'm not saying that this is the fastest system, but for Wi-Fi range and capability, the AmpliFi HD is one of those that I have to give 2 huge thumbs up on. And for setup purposes, it's fantastic, and it makes it really easy to say to my parents, go get this. I don't even have to come out to your home to help you connect this. So AmpliFi HD, definitely check it out. I will put a link directly in the top of the description if you're interested in purchasing through Amazon. I am an affiliate, and if you purchase through that link, you are supporting this program. Thank you very much for all of those of you who do that. I'm not saying you have to. You can definitely head over to your local Best Buy. They sell this as well. I've seen it there. So, if you have any questions or comments on the actual setup itself, please direct those directly below. I will actually have a review on this coming up on my TechGooch channel, so go ahead and have that. I will actually put a link to that below as well, so you can check out that review as well. As you can probably guess, it's going to be a favorable review on this one. A very, very favorable review. So definitely check that out. But if you have any other questions for me at all, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the setup video, and we'll catch you on a future one. See you soon.